Hey boys and boys, it's actually December 4th, it's Saturday. I know I didn't update on December 2nd, that's okay, it's okay. I was very busy. But yeah, this week's topic, I was hoping someone would notice, I guess, but I was the one who posted this week's topic on the comments. I don't know if you noticed the icons on my one YouTube account and the other one that posted the question. Very similar looking. And this question was inspired by just thinking about things, and partially because I was at my therapist recently and I was talking about how when I want to transition, I want to make sure that I'm doing it for the right reasons and that it's for me, because what I know is that in terms of transitioning, we tend to look at anybody who detransitions as someone who then strips away all legitimacy of the act of transitioning, you know? Like, as soon as you declare yourself trans, you have to stay trans forever and ever and ever, because if you don't, if you declare your want and need to transition and then stop, I mean, there are a lot of people who will say, that's okay, man. But if you transition and then detransition, everyone's all like, so. So yeah. So my thoughts on it, after thinking about that, my therapist had said to me she sees it as a sign of maturity, because it's something that's in my mind. I haven't just gone into a transition thinking this will solve everything and I'll never look back on it or something. And also I've had fears of, what if I'm the only one who thinks that it might not be for me? Everyone else seems to say, I've always wanted this. I never thought of looking back or detransitioning or anything, like never thought of it. And I was thinking, what if I'm the only one thinking this might not be for me, or like, it kind of got to me. So then I realized, why don't we talk about this and really open a little dialogue on it? And something I want to note is that some guys brought up the points about being misdiagnosed or something, thinking that you're transgender when it's something else that's causing it. But sometimes, I want to note this, sometimes you really are transgender, but you detransition because of things that are out of your control. For example, I read in the local queer paper here an article by a trans man. Like, he usually runs this section, and he was talking about how he knew of a trans woman who had detransitioned because her family is very religious, and because of that, they were starving her for love. They would not pay attention to her, and after a while she couldn't deal with it, and she detransitioned so she could get back with her family. And that sucks. So I think we should also note the fact that detransitioning is not something we always do out of our own want. Sometimes it happens because people are cruel, and they know how to get to us, how to get to our cores, and to stop us at any cost, even if it's at the cost of maybe our own happiness. So it's important to note that detransition can happen either because you're not trans, you thought that it would solve all your problems, but it didn't, and someone might have misdiagnosed you or something like that. But it can also happen because people are jerks. Sometimes people are big, fat jerks, right? But that's why I think it's good to talk about this, and to always make sure that trans people have a base, a chosen family, to be there for our trans brothers, sisters, and trans siblings, because otherwise they could end up all alone after transitioning, with no one to talk to, with no support, with family and friends that reject them as they express their true gender. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on detransitioning. So yeah, and questions this week. I wrote them down just so I wouldn't forget them. And we'll start with Tristan's question. Tristan asked, what do we want to get for Christmas, I think. Well, I celebrate Christmas, I guess. My family does. Although I have some family that celebrates Hanukkah, but they also celebrate a more secularized Christmas, I guess. And for me, if I could get anything ever, it would be change and top surgery right now, because sometimes I'm getting obsessive about it, kind of. Like it occupies all my thoughts and stuff, but no, I'm getting better. If I were to go for something that my family could actually give me and wants to give me, or feels okay giving me, sometimes I think an iPod Touch, but I don't know. I haven't put much thought into the one gift I would want over all others besides transitioning and family acceptance. And Alex's video cut off early, so there's no question in it. Hayden asked what our favorite art supply is. Mine is typically ink media, pencils. Like by ink media I mean markers, whether it be the kind that like Crayola had. Those were some bitch and ass markers. I also I want to try out watercolor. Really, I like a lot of media. I like a lot of art media. I don't really restrict myself to one sometimes, although maybe I should, because then I'd actually be able to improve my skills on it. I don't know. So yeah. And Kyle asked what our favorite musical is. And, oh god, when he asked this, I was like, fuck, you want me to choose? Oh. So I'd have to say Phantom of the Opera is one of my favorites because I love the music, I get into the story, and I love being the Phantom, even though he has a very low voice sometimes, and I can't always reach those registers. But I can try. I can always try. But I also kind of like Hair, although I haven't seen it live, and I would like to. I like Hair, Hairspray, and the opera, The Music Man, kind of. I like the music to it, although I'm starting to notice some of the more sexist undertones to certain things, but then again, it was set in the 19th century when things were a little more openly sexist and no one really thought they were sexist. Not no one, but anyway, I still like the music to it, I guess. And a Very Potter musical. Oh, that's a good one. I love that one so much. Really, I don't have one. I have so many, so yeah. I guess that's that for that. Here's my question. Do you guys like cold weather? This can apply, I guess, to... I mean, I live where it's kind of cold. It's not freaking cold, like in Moscow or something. It starts snowing in, like, November there. No exceptions. But here it's pretty cold, and I was feeling really cold last night and getting really bitchy about it, but at the same time, I still like the cold. And whether you hate or love the cold, when it gets cold, what do you do to keep yourself warm? So let me reiterate. My question is, do you like the cold? When it gets cold, what do you do to keep yourself warm? And that's it for now, boys. I'll see you later.